Hello and welcome again to Indiepocalypse Radio, the your source of your source of me doing things like remembering that I need to update the little cover, little cover carousel with a new issue because of course there's a new issue and a new issue of what? A new issue of Indiepocalypse, the curated monthly anthology of alternative experimental games, and this is sort of the companion show to it that's somewhere between a talk show or an interview show rather, and just kind of hanging out as you would at a convention. And this is leaning more on the hanging out part, honestly, if I'm just being honest. But we are here with a trio of guests from the collected works of Indiepocalypse. Sequentially, even, but not going in any sequential order. You may know from in the context of my name is Andrew, by the way. I don't know if I said that. The context of Indiepocalypse from issue 68 with Welcome to the Science Club. It's Hanuman Zumami. Hanuman, how you doing today?
It's good. It's good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am fired up, ready to go. Get back into the. You know, you spend a day not saying anything to anybody, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta host a freaking show." You know, you gotta. I gotta wind up into that mode.
It's freaking beautiful out there in New York today.
I know it's like not. I'm of course Massachusetts, not too much further away.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, and it is weird to see in my lifetime November get brisk or whatever. Like November, it's kind of nice out in November.
Yeah, it's kind of nice out.
Which is nice for that it's nice out, bad perhaps for the overall environment. But
that is true.
You taking the good, taking the good where you get it, and you're like, I don't have to be fully bundled up in November.
Yeah.
But that all aside, or for now, I have an important question for you right at the top.
Yes.
A kind of stock Indiepocalypse question, which is, hey, how'd you find this thing? And someone has submitted to it.
Actually, it's I'm kind of like in this New York indie dev thing, and then
yes,
like everyone, once in a while to be like, oh, made it to this Indiepocalypse thing. And I was like, cool, this is, and then it's like a few weeks ago, one of my very good friend Nicole Shin was is commissioned to make a game for Indiepocalypse, and then that game was really cool.
Yes. No, that was Nicole's on this very show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wow.
When there are people within the New York scene, that's often a very. I know the answer to this question when I ask it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like. That it's, or I should say, the New York college scene, especially. I feel like,
especially
that it's been like traveling through that slowly over the years.
Yeah.
And in part, because as you mentioned, I do commission, just like the culture of quick experimental game development. Is right into my wheelhouse of stuff that I'm looking for.
Yeah. I mean, you have a really good sense of choice when you find people to commission. Demos is also really cool.
Yes. No, Demos was a long shot for a while. Like I think is this an Instagram? I'm like, and got no response. And then randomly they had just like submitted a game, and I was like, hey,
wow.
I've been looking for your email forever. What if instead of submitting a game you already made, I commissioned you to make a new one? And that all worked out.
That's cool. It's really funny because I found out this Demos person.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Demos is a part of the Chinese indie game scene, and then
yes,
I'm also Chinese, so it's kind of like out there, and then I'd be like, oh, this Demos person is really famous. Well, kind of like, oh, everyone kind of like know their name in China, and it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden. Wow, it's in the same issue, and then it's and also that same week there's a So there's an event hosted by both Boshi's Place and
Yes.
Wrecked Repair. It's like both like Wrecked Repair is a Chinese indie game
Right. This
place.
is the kind of like
Kind of
cross
like
collab kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah, and then Demos was there, so it's like kind of the week was, and everything was like connected to each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the weird interconnectedness of doing this, of like, oh, everybody's kind of
Yeah,
in the same spot all the time.
yeah. It's it feels pretty magical to see everyone's kind. It's a really like small circle, but also like super big at the same time.
Yeah, and I got the number wrong. How did I get the number wrong? You were in issue 69, of course.
Oh yeah, 69.
Yeah, I think I typed it down. I got I got two of the numbers wrong. I was like, wait a minute,
Hmm.
but because I was like, wait, my Davis wasn't in 68. That's not right. That math doesn't
Yeah.
add up. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, there are like so many just like
Hmm.
it's a I forget who said it, but there was one of the million indie game discussions that happens online.
Hmm.
I remember seeing someone mention in the context of that is like in referring to like more art games or art house games, like the idea that in film, even if someone couldn't name one or they don't know or they don't watch any of the movies, I feel like there's like even like among
Hmm.
most people there's an understanding that art house cinema is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel like that doesn't exist in games, like in the same way that people understand that. Oh no, there isn't like an art house scene in games that is.
True.
It's like thriving, and
Hmm.
it feels like it's also missing, and even like the critical, like the press sphere that is like also doesn't
Yeah.
seem to know it exists, which is really weird.
Yeah. It is really weird.
Even though there are like I said, there are so many of them. There are people who can be like very like indie famous that do not
Yeah.
really get like brought up or mentioned in like the critical game space.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's
People have been talking about mechanics too much, not like who's behind the games.
yes. No, I've when my ongoing my newly adopted mission is I want to kill verbs in gameplay. I'm sick of those things.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't
hate verb.
I don't want to hear about your verb ever because like
Hmm.
it covers such a tiny subset of games. What is the
Yeah.
verb
Yeah.
of Welcome to the Science Club? Walk,
Yeah. I guess walk.
but like what does that mean?
Yeah. You're right. Um,
It,
I feel like people are very verb pilled. Like even like in a lot of experimental game scene, and people be like, okay, so what's the verb of your game? Even if doing like game that we made
right.
this very cool.
Sorry, you keep cutting out a little here and there. I don't know if it's
Oh, really?
yeah. I don't know.
It's better now.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, I don't know if it was like a moving around thing or a connection thing, but who knows?
It might be the connection, or it might be I just like
Well, it's coming through enough, so we're good. But I missed
okay.
the game you were mentioning. Although I think I have a feeling that what it is.
Yeah, no, it's just like when people talk about games, and then there's like so many fascinating ideas out there, and every time people just be like, "Oh, what do you do in this game?" Which is
Yes.
pretty lame.
Yeah. No. It was in like the thing that got me on it recently. I say recently, which is almost like a year ago at this point. Um, was when I was at PAX East.
Hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll throw up like a demo of whatever the most recent commission game was, and it happened to be Nicole's game. And like
Oh.
my instinct is often, because you're describing to gamers, is to describe what you do in the game. I was like, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like it just is done a disservice by saying, oh, you kind of walk around and explore spaces. Or it's like that's not like
Yeah. It really undersells the game,
right.
like to a very large extent. Like it would be 10 times lamer if you explain what you do in the game, and then
Yes.
compared to like other or like vibes or whatever.
Right. Because it's like there are so many, especially within the more like experimental space.
Yeah.
A lot of the games that technically you do the same thing are also like drastically different than each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, would you
Hmm.
is Fast Car a driving game?
Yeah. Right. Hmm.
Like it is. I think it feels like one of those like
Hmm.
um, earliness of the medium sort of things,
Yeah. Yeah.
where just it always
We had a
feels.
pretty
Yeah.
bad vocabulary to categorize everything.
Yes. We need like way more. We need like people to start doing like music genres. Where we just keep adding on like
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Like we don't have Jersey Club in video game.
Yeah, we don't have
It could be
like.
like a Boji's play game,
Yeah, right.
Boji's place game or a wreck repair game or whatever.
And
Like
even
it's a New York game. It's a Massachusetts game.
yeah, and even like I feel like we're starting to see little bits of like New York, in partially because that's a New York thing in general. Like it's New York having thriving art scenes is not unique to games, but I think part of like the knock on effect of that just kind of New York energy is that you start to get a New York flavor of games.
Yeah, exactly.
That is like I can almost to the point where I can almost like pick out someone that's like the New York scene just by like just on
Mhm.
vibes.
Yeah. I feel like I can probably do the same. It's like, are you from New York? And people be like, probably they're probably from New York.
Right. And because it's not even like a college specific thing. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
because you've got like a number of different groups there. Like
Hmm.
it's a thriving city, a thriving art city. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and
And then I
partially
think
yeah. Go ahead.
no, it's just like people learn from each other. So
Yes,
at the end of the day, you'll become who you're surrounded by.
that's the other thing I was gonna. The important thing to say is that people are bouncing off of each other. Um,
Yeah.
and it's not like the kind of like dev in isolation that you pop out every 3 months or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's more like like a lot of like loose collaborative projects.
Yeah. And then oh yeah, it's really funny because we have Nicole in one of the game. Me and my collaborator is making to we commissioned Nicole to make art for our game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, which game is this? Is this?
Oh, it's a still like under
Oh, like a
development game.
secret unknown. Yes.
Oh well, it's not like secret unknown, but it's a swimming game. It's a
Okay.
game where you swim around and talk to people.
Yeah. Right. Which is obviously more than swinging around and talking to people.
Yeah,
per
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But it is. It's also like even when you know that, it's hard to like train yourself off of that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just like what the language trends towards. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you just like that's a way you're used to talking to people about games. So you need to like
Mm-hmm.
step back and go like, oh no, wait a minute, no.
Yeah.
So in that vein, if someone was like, hey, what is welcome to the science club? How would you describe it to someone?
Okay, so this is welcome to the science club. It's a there's a like a backstory about this game. Um,
Okay.
so in the summer, some of the New York indie art game people did it's like mostly the Bosch's Place people, but I'm not from the Bosch's Place, so it's like
Right. That's
it's
also
just
like a loose
adjacent
thing
people.
of
Yeah, yeah. And then so we did like a idiosyncratic game developer research group and whatever. Every week we're like research this people's game, and then we're gonna by this person. And then I was researching American McGee's Alice,
okay.
the very first one, and then I was like, wow, American McGee's Alice is really fun, and then there's a lot of like enigmatic writings in the game, and then the writing is like really fucked up, really interesting. Like, what I wish I can make a game where you like talk, walk around people saying like things that you wouldn't understand to you.
Right.
And I was like, yeah. So I was making this game that you walk around in a place, and then people talk, and then like to understand the riddles, and then at the end you can like the riddles, but not the vibe. That's kind of the energy that's behind the game. And then at the end, I was like, yeah, I gotta add some like cool people to it. And then Tom Cruise, and that was when Mission Impossible was out
Yes.
there in the cinema, and I was like, yeah, gotta add Tom Cruise to it again. And so it was a Scientology theme,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it went pretty well. So yeah,
Yes.
everything
Yes.
kind of
No.
fitted well with each other.
It all just kind of like melds together, and that is, it
Yeah,
is what.
yeah.
And
It's like a important part of game development. It's just like, oh, they happen to be like,
yeah, and it's kind of very much of a, um, further examples of where like traditional like design mentality kind of like breaks down, because you don't
mhm.
get something like that from like it doesn't have a game. My gameplay loop is talking. What's your gameplay loop? Uh,
Yeah.
but that's sort of like very a small, like it kind of the weird thing is that it's thought of as to be like the way that games are designed rather than just like a way that games are designed, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so overpowering right now,
Exactly.
and there's not much to go, like I think unless you are in like in very active community that is like seeking this stuff out, you're like, how do you find, like, I think of the lay person who just doesn't know, who's like, oh, I want to get into weird art games, like, where do they go, um,
Hmm.
like there's not like there's not even like a little intro level kind of like streaming service. I mean, that's the other thing is like the games are, I know someone who is kind of starting something like this, so I'm hoping this will be a thing going forward. But fracturing of streaming services means you can have like niche streaming services.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can have something like a movie. I didn't want to confuse the two. A movie, which is like more art house focused.
Yes.
And I think you can. I think you can, and I hope that people will try to do that with like game stores. Like,
yeah, exactly.
like, oh, here's a game store that's like all we have is horror games. Like, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. We don't have HBOs for video games.
Right.
We have Steam. Yeah.
Like all the publishing platforms are just kind of everything platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess itch by the nature. I guess itch and Steam have that mild differentiation.
Yeah, but also like it's really surprising to see like the majority of games I can see on itch.io is like the dude not safe for work games.
Yes.
So it's like it's also like the itch that I can think of, the itch that the image of itch.io in my perspective is also like probably not the itch.io that people have in their perspective.
Right. There's the itch.io that is just like, oh, that's where I play horror games for my stream. It's where I find all my horror games.
Yeah.
It's where oh my god, love to see it in fresh. My god, I'm scrolling through itch right now, and I saw my oft recommended, who is Johnny Sixgun in the fresh, which I recommend to people highly. But because I'm surprised because it is mostly horror most of the time in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool when it's not horror. I wonder if they touch the algorithm here and there, because I know people are finding out that like having video comments weighs it up super high, and most horror games have video comments on them because there's people.
Yeah.
I played through your game. But it is like I think it's helpful for it to be like platforms that is like more focused, like what is like a movie but for games.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, even before they check out what any of the games are, they know going in. Oh no, these are more like art house games generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We need to have a place for that. We need to have a structure to nurture a platform
Yeah,
that can hold these things, and people can benefit from them.
because it's not even like there's basically a maze in terms of shows.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It's like I feel like making indie games right now is like you're in a battle royale to kind of like fight your way over to be seen by people first, and
Right,
it's not like yeah, you first have to like you need to be better in marketing than 10 other games to be like, okay, you're finally in the competition now, which is pretty fucked up, I guess.
right. Especially since like, if to be honest, most people making games, and I say it's very complimentary
Yeah,
to the people who are making these games because I like them a lot. Just will not do not make marketable looking games.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
And also, it's just like from a customer perspective, I
yeah,
cannot find any place where I can get games I want, which is pretty fucked up because the tags and categories in Steam is really bad. It cannot,
yes,
yeah.
right. There is like I run into. I mean, it's why I invented a thing that people just send me the games that I
Mhm.
want.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of like uh, passively. That's how my so
Yeah.
that'd be my recommendation to you. Starting a monthly
Mhm.
anthology, um,
Yes.
and then people will send you all the games that you're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, exactly. My algorithm right now is my friends be like, check out this cool game. This is my algorithm.
Yes, that's truly is like the best. Like, there's not no better algorithm than having a cool friend who likes to recommend you
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. Well, I guess my second best algorithm is in Indiepocalypse.
Yeah, well, it's your cool friend by proxy. Um,
Yes.
I am uh, also trying to be just a cool friend to all. That's
Yes.
got good recs for people ready to go.
Um, yeah, I mean, you're pretty cool, and I think people talk about Indiepocalypse in the scene, and it's kind of like just like out there and as a friend and be like, oh, have you hang out with Pizza Pranks? And
Right.
yeah, yeah.
It is like the weirdness of like, also, I mean, it's the thing I think about of uh,
Hmm.
the luxury of New York that other places don't have in the same way is like game
True,
dev does
true.
feel like super isolated a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And like what you would think of as like indie spaces are just kind of friend groups actually.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
it is kind of a friend group.
and it is weird to inject yourself in like we don't have like indie games, especially the more like alt games, doesn't
Hmm.
have like a kind of that like loose acquaintanceship. I feel,
Yeah.
and I think part of that is just like there's not like you think about other mediums, of
Hmm.
like bands going on tour all the time and running across each other, or like
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
a lot of like indie comic shows or indie art shows, or tabling at anime conventions, or
Hmm.
doing like local
Exactly.
theater and plays, and like games don't have the same
Yeah. Games don't have that. The only thing we have is GDC, which is like depressing.
yes, right. Well, it's like it's GDC if you're more industry sided, or it's a maze if you're more
Yeah.
art sided, and both of those are
Yeah.
like not easy to get to necessarily.
I know. Like one of them is in Berlin, and the other one costs like $10,000 to get in.
Yes, no, I thought for a second like, oh, I bet I could, like, I've been doing this long enough. I bet I could get a talk in GDC as like a way to get to GDC
Yeah,
for free, but then I didn't
yeah,
realize it's like during the week.
yeah. It is during the week, and then also you have to go to San Francisco and stay in a
Yes,
hotel.
which is like, and I'm definitely staying in a hotel. I'm not staying in a hostel because
Yeah.
I'm a little, I'm that's my one little Prince feature is
Mhm.
like I am not like
Mhm.
I'll take the worst flights in the world that are like overnight
Yeah.
and early morning, but I want to not be
Mhm.
in like in a hostel.
That is true. That is super fair, and I think it's like not if you stay in the hostel, you'll have to like, oh, it's a you have to endure the intense GDC and then a hostile combo.
Right, right. I kind of just like I like having a place to kind of unwind. Like
Yeah.
I went to Indiecade once in LA and
Hmm.
I did like an
Yes.
Airbnb and I'm like
Uh-huh.
never again.
Yeah, yeah,
It was just a
yeah.
weird thing of like it's like oh my space is like literally one room with a lock on it
Exactly. It's
and
pretty
like
depressing.
yeah and like a shared
Yeah.
bathroom and it's like I got
Hmm.
other stuff. But anyhow, we are
Hmm.
surprisingly enough that we have reached the end of our.
Oh, wow.
I know it just breezes by, but
Yeah,
before
it
we
breezes
hit the
by.
true end to it,
Hmm.
oh, I did not know this person. Sorry, I'm caught off guard because I saw something like, oh, that person's name. What do they make? And like they're in Pig Squad as well, huh?
Hmm.
I'm just like slowly learning the people all over the internet.
Yeah.
I'm a big comment. I like when people comment on games. I often check out who they are if I don't recognize them because the nature of itch
Yes.
is mostly it's other developers.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Nine
Um,
out of 10, you'll see it's another developer.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, just in the comments of Welcome to Science Club, I think we have at least one
Hmm.
other contributor to Indiepocalypse. Never mind other developers.
Yes.
Like a lot of times I'll just see it'll be like, oh, these are 90% other developers,
Hmm.
70% past Indiepocalypse contributors.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I have two questions for you. The stock
Yes.
Indiepocalypse questions. First important one is what's your favorite type of rock?
Pebble?
Perfect. Do you have a
Mm.
favorite Toho character?
Toho character. Um, Good question. Good question. It's Marisa Toho character?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it's the girl with blonde hair, right?
Yes, yes. The witch with blonde hair. I think she steals stuff.
Yes, yes. That's my favorite character is Melissa.
Perfect. Knocked it out in record time. Now I don't thank you for joining me here. We're gonna go on break, uh, and we'll be back in about I don't know like a minute 31. See you everyone
Okay.
on the other side of
See ya.
that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was the Yeasties with a feeling. I'm getting back into the good habit of making sure that I buy more stuff for the show. We are here with our next guest, who you may know if you've ever looked at Indiepocalypse 68 because you did the cover. Is Charlie? How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great now. Especially by the second guest, I'm just ready to go. I'm all fully prepared, and in the zone.
Same.
Uh, but now, see, I can. There are two questions I can. I obviously cannot, as a cover artist, cannot ask you the standard. How did you find it? Because you didn't contribute, and I also know the answer to. Did you know about it when I messaged you? Because you did. Because you the one of the examples of hey, see the thing in person and say I'm an artist. uh,
Yeah, I feel like I quite shamelessly plugged myself. Like I saw you at a con and was like, please, 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 please.
yes, no, and it was. I love when people do that because I've not. I don't think I've ever encountered. Maybe it's just like people are very good judges of themselves or something, or the people who have the confidence to say, "Please pay me to do this." Um, because I also I have a business card right on my desk right now that I'm going to email someone on Monday that I had met at a previous con as well, who also was like, "Hey, I'm an artist. Let me do this cool cover art for you."
Yeah, I feel like it must be really exciting for you to have a lot of independent artists approaching you rather than vice versa. Like you have people that are like I really like what you're making. I wanna contribute to that. I already feel like I'm aligned with what you do.
Yes, and that it's also like it's a doubly good feeling because like, oh, cool artists like what I like, or it's like it's the feeling of like, oh, I'm an artist too, and I look at them like, oh wow, this person is very good, and they want to do this. This is just like so conveniently handed right to my right to my hands. But
Yeah.
and I do. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I was just gonna say that I feel like looking through your things, even as someone that doesn't have a lot of knowledge on video games, it was really cool to look through the other covers because it introduced me to a lot of different independent artists.
Yes.
Like from that perspective as well.
That is the other like secret part of Indiepocalypse is like it's why I specifically like yourself hire people who do not work commission people who do not work in games to make covers. So it is to be like, oh no, here's these independent artists who even if you're way in on games, you may not know because they do other stuff. They are illustrators of a different practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you do, I believe, like a lot of like come from a more like traditional art background, like doing even a lot of like non-digital work.
Yeah. Like I'm a big analog person. I'm most comfortable with hand-drawn traditional stuff. I dabble in digital stuff when I have to, but given the choice, I'll be in a sketchbook.
Oh, and I assume, was this cover hand drawn or was this digital, the one you had made?
It's a little bit of a Frankenstein actually.
Okay.
So it was hand drawn. I drew it a couple of times in a sketchbook, like over and over again.
Yeah.
Got to like the version that I liked. Had like this hand drawn version of it, and then I scanned it in.
Okay.
Essentially hand traced it on like a digital drawing tool.
Right.
And then I like layered in some they're like real textures, but they're like digital images of real textures.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
So, yeah, just to kind of bring it back to life once it's gone into the computer.
Right.
But it's a really cool process.
Yes, no, yeah, because the scanning you do it does kind of like flattens things sometimes, or kind of give them like lightens them up too much, or washes out. That's the word I was looking for. It kind of washes them out sometimes.
Absolutely. I always feel like my drawings go a little bit limp when I scan them in. They always, I feel like they die a little bit. So I always try and throw some textures back onto them once they're digital. Yeah,
and it definitely like it shows in the, because I feel like you do like the part of the charm also the thing you catch like stray marks that are just like a part of analog art, and also like when you go back and you print it back out, they look great. Like it has a very the hand drawn quality transfers all the way back to print very well, to the point where it feels like it almost like you have to like at a quick glance it would look like, oh, did somebody draw this cover in here real quick?
No, yeah, you're right. If ever I make prints, I kind of follow a similar process. Even if I'm making a print of a hand-drawn image, right. I'll scan it in, I'll digitize it, I'll clean it up a little bit, and then remake it look hand-drawn before I print it back out again.
Right. and having the like even the printing process, it's the kind of reverse benefit where the kind of like grunging up a little of digital work makes it feel closer to analog again.
Yeah.
And it is like a what you call it, like an interesting process. It is I talk a lot on the show because I think games run into this problem often, but I'm sure most art runs into this problem where the idea that like, oh, we have new technology, that means the new technology is better and the old way is worse now. But that's never really the case, you know.
Yeah, I feel like as things get easier to make and easier to mass produce, you lose a lot of the time and effort that you put into making something that's like handmade or that you really have to pour your heart and soul into. And that's not to say that things that are digital or things that are a lot more convenient don't have the same value, but
right.
I think it's definitely something that's got its own charm that I really hope doesn't die out.
Yeah, and my hope is, I feel like I think that it never will, really. I think that people always like yearn for the feeling of like a pen stroke on a page. Like there's something to that, especially when you see it in person. I think it makes a big difference when you can actually even print, like even if you were to scan something printed out, it doesn't have the same texture of like that work initially if you were just like looking at the original.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's something really unique and irreplaceable with handmade stuff that makes it kind of have its own sort of special charm to it. And I think that's why I think you're right. I don't think it's going to die out because it's got something that you wouldn't be able to do. Like, even if you had 10 different artists that all made the same thing, you're still going to have 10 completely different end results.
Right.
Even if they're like drawing the same cup or whatever.
Yeah, there's that's the extremely clear weakness of like Gen AI stuff among a suite of weaknesses, is that it doesn't have like intention, and it doesn't come from a history, you know. Like
I think when you can make something that easily and that instantly, you lose a lot of intention to it.
Yes, yeah, and kind of you wonder like. It feels almost like the cursed end product of like the artist as like the commercial machine, you know, of like art as art, like the end goal of art is that it should be a product and not like a thing that we do because we enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I feel like there's a lot of instances I've come across people that have been like, oh, I really want an avatar for this thing or an image for XYZ, and they're like, oh, I just asked the AI to do it for me because it was easier and they did the thing that I wanted. And I was like, oh, but have they really done the thing that you wanted, or have they just done like a close enough thing that was really cheap and free?
Yes, right. It's like, oh yeah, I guess this is like maybe it's a thing that you didn't really want that much, or if you my true pleasure every month. Or one of my great pleasures every month is like getting the cover. It's why I'm like, oh, I don't need to see drafts or anything. And just like send me when it's done, because I just got one yesterday. The pleasure of just like seeing what like something that I don't know what it's going to be. Is
that was actually something I found really scary from you when I was making the cover. I was like, do you want to see a sketch? Do you want to? And you were like, no, it's fine. I trust you. And I was like, why? Are you sure?
No, because you gave me you have this whole ass website of reasons to trust you to make art. That's the strength of the portfolio of like, oh yeah, no, this person just. If I let you do whatever you want, you're going to make something that's going to be better than anything I could tell you to make.
Yeah, I think there's a real beauty in the freedom that you give the people that do the covers. And there's something really cool about how none of them look anything like each other. Like
right.
Obviously they all say the title, but other than that, you're seeing the artist in the work rather than rather than them all following a formula, I guess.
Yes, right. That is, like, I mean, part of, giving everyone, like, oh, here's what the covers look like. It's the point of, like, oh, the covers can look like literally anything. Like, as long as you, like, some of them are, like, vaguely game related. Plenty of them, most of them are not. But I think it gives you the vibe of, what the project is. Because if I like gave you the 10 games in your issue and I say, hey, make a cover that encapsulates these 10 games, that would be just like a gigantic task that would probably just end up being like less interesting,
Yeah, I guess kind of in like a less is more sort of way. Like the more you're trying to tell something, the less you're going to get the point across, I think, if you're trying to throw everything in at once, because you're going to end up with like 10 watered down versions of something rather than like one thing that's its own thing.
Yeah, so I feel the strength rather is than just like, let the artists just do whatever they want. And in seeing that, like, oh, this artist was able to express themselves however they wanted. That is like the intent of basically, if an artist is expressing themselves however they want, that's what also these game developers are in theory doing.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice and rare way to show that sort of thing. I don't think you get that very often.
No, and like that is, it's the art world is not always the friendliest world, especially like I've seen the woes of just like the person who does want hire an artist to make you an avatar, like, oh, I'll do it for exposure, or sending, I have an artist friend who gets, bemoans someone's 10,000 notes and then decided they didn't want it at the end.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, that sucks. like oh, actually, yeah.
I had a really similar thing. I did an animation for someone once, and we went through like the whole process. So we did like the character designs, we did the storyboard, we did like a mini portion of the animation to make sure that they liked the sort of style that we were animating it, and they were like, yeah, we love it, this is perfect, this is great. And then we got to the finished piece, and they were like, oh, actually, can you change this, and this? And we were like, oh, so everything?
Right. Yeah, and it is like, it's like that wretched ideas man or whatever, who's like, a lot of times in those situations, it feels like the person doesn't know what they want. They just know they want something different. And
yeah, they just know what they don't want.
Right. They're like, oh, I just want something different. Or just like, they want that endless iteration or whatever they can get of just, oh, I'll just keep asking people to do something different until I get this thing that maybe actually the first thing is something good that would be good for you, but because you have this ability to just, or feeling like you have this privilege, just ask for more endlessly.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time when people are commissioning you, it's almost like, oh, you work for me and you can make it work.
Right.
Like, I don't like this version, so how hard can it be for you to just tweak it? And
right.
Like, no, I'd have to start again.
Yeah, it's just another picture. How long do pictures take to make, Oh, just a quick... Just a quick second, You're right.
This is kind of exacerbated with AI as well, because
right.
It's so quick to generate with something like that. Like, what do you mean that it will take you hours, weeks,
right,
months, whatever, to make this thing? I can make it in 5 minutes, and it will look exactly the same.
And it's like, well, obviously it won't look exactly the same. It'll look kind of generic, kind of like not look like anything.
Yeah.
Like you can pick those things out from like a mile away.
I do think that's something that's kind of nice and reassuring. Like, as it's got more popular, even though it has advanced, it's still fairly easy to pick it out, even when it's trying to look like a real image,
right?
Or like trying to look like a specific art style. There's still like a couple of telltale things where it's like, I know what you are.
Right. It's because it's also like the most genericized version of that art style, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so like, it hurts artists who like the artists. I mean, hurts a lot of artists in general, but then also the you know, people whose bread and butter was like working in someone else's style. But if you're like working in your own style, you like, it's harder for someone to, like, you know, the styles that get most often copied are you know,
like Ghibli,
like,
or like The Simpsons, or
right, which are, you know, animation styles which are meant to be drawn similarly by, you know, hundreds of people. So of course,
yeah.
But you know, they could, and that's also like not in motion. Like, terrified in the idea of an AI trying to do Ghibli in motion, which is Ghibli's strength is motion, not what it looks like.
I do have a little bit of a fear that it's not that far away, because they do have the I think you can turn like an image into an animation with some AIs now.
Right. Right. So it could be some unfortunate thing where to the average person that goes, "Oh, it looks close enough." I mean, like, well, no. The point is, it's supposed to. It's all in like the little tiny gestures that is like where that strength comes through.
Yeah, and with Ghibli and actually a couple of old Disney animations as well, something that's really cool and unique about them is they have like these gorgeous hand-drawn and hand-painted backgrounds.
Yeah.
So, like sometimes they can, like in the older Disney things, they can be a little bit more obvious because they either like don't interact with the background at all, or you can tell which things they're going to interact with because they have way less detail.
Yes.
But like, if you're watching like a car down a road, I'm thinking like Spirited Away or Ponyo.
Yeah.
Those backgrounds are like all hand painted, and you can almost see like the paper texture and like the brush strokes and all those tiny little details that clearly took someone not only a lot of time but like a lot of love to go into it.
Yeah, and that like people are, you know, there's. I think the internet is very bad at like making a very small subset of people feel like everybody. Because I think it's going to. I think, you know, the loudest people will be like, "Oh, this is good," but there'll also be like plenty of people like, "No, it's, you know, art ebbs and flows, and it'll turn against it very quickly." More so than it already has. Like, the people who it's new and exciting to will get bored of it because, like, oh yeah, I already I turned myself into a Ghibli already.
Yeah, I've already done that. I've been there.
Yeah, I've already given this thing my photo.
What more do you want from me?
Yes. I've already scanned my face in like I did for all those old age. That was the weirdest thing. I feel like there was people have been doing it less maybe, but of like, oh, scan it, make you old. So I'm like giving my face to this company for something. Wait a minute. But
yeah.
But speaking of, nope, none of that. Hey, what's up? What's your favorite type of rock?
My favorite type of rock is, I don't know if this counts as a rock. Can I pick a crystal?
I think crystals are rocks. I think throughout the show in the questions that crystals and minerals are like a subset of rock, maybe.
Okay. I was gonna say amethyst, which is a mineral.
I believe that is a rock. I think those counts as, or it's close enough. Or you know what, close enough for my book. I'm not here to judge. I'm not.
I need to get a good grade in rock.
Yeah, we have got to make sure everyone gets graded after this. I make sure to, I give everyone a post-mortem survey of how they did, how they can improve. What are your areas of improvement? You know.
Score out of 10.
what's the phrase? Areas of opportunity. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever made up. Do you have over there across the pond? Do you have made up? Do you not say weaknesses? Do you also in like job interviews also have like areas of opportunity?
Yeah, in my workplace, it's areas of opportunity.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Glad to know the grind set is a universal human experience.
Yes.
And the made up language that we used that stayed corporate culture. And I'm going to ask, just in case you've done the research on, hey, do you have a favorite Toho character?
I do not.
Perfect.
I have to confess. But I will say I do have a series that is on my watch list. It's been recommended to me by a couple of people. So as a series, can I say the Apothecary Diary?
Oh, you know what? I think we were thinking of different Tohos.
Oh, no, don't say that.
I am going to say that. I'm talking about Toho with U's in it, of the eponymous Toho project, a long-running bullet hell franchise that has a million little...
Tell me more. Do the plug.
Toho was like made in like 97, I think, by some dude named Jun. Technically, it was a brick-breaking game back then for the first iteration, but they've since been all bullet hells with some spin-offs here and there. But also the defining factor, besides it being like, you know, a heart and blood kind of indie project, is that it has a very like open license, so to speak, where anyone can kind of show up and make a Toho game, an unofficial Toho fan game, as even like a commercial product. So like you get like basically any kind of game you can think of is got a game full of Toho characters inside of it. Whether it's, if you're like, oh, I don't like bullet hells, do you like puzzle games or kart racers or fighting games or any number of things? Toho's got you covered in some way or another. That is the Toho pitch, but I'll say at the end of that, Charlie, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you very much. As my leaving gift, I would like to be assigned a Toho character.
Oh.
Since I couldn't give a favorite one.
Clown Piece. Everyone who doesn't know a Toho character gets Clown Piece.
Okay.
One of my favorites. With that said, we're going to go on a break and be back in about, what's this one? 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was Cheap Cinema with Fade Away. We are here with our final guest of the show, who you may know from issue. This one was also issue number 69 of Indiepocalypse with Train Journey. It's Mavu. Mavu, how are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing well.
First up, you've heard it twice before or once before. You're ready to go. Hey, how'd you find Indiepocalypse?
I found it through my girlfriend, who had also submitted a game for it. So I just figured I'd submit it, and here we go. that
is an often way of people like, oh, my friend was in it. Someone I know was in it. So then they said, hey, be in it. And I was like,
yeah.
That's a great way for people to the daisy chain of Indiepocalypse contributors.
Yeah.
It's like a good pyramid scheme. It's like a pyramid scheme where someone's like, hey, I was in this, submit your thing to this, and someone will give you money. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I also recommended it to someone recently, and I think their game got in. So
I think maybe look based on your page, and I'm assuming one I'm looking at your friend Moot's section. One was incoming, one was outgoing, is one of my assumptions here, given that they're both contributors.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, also highly those two games, A Second Sight Dilemma and Winter Bunny 444, highly recommend. Truly among the best, some of the best out there doing it. When I was I broke Winter Bunny when I was playing it through the first time, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna play this again all the way through.
Yeah, I think I did too. It's a great game though, for sure. And I actually have the developer right here.
Oh,
he's joining in, just hanging out.
Hi.
Hello. A friend of the show, friend of the creator of the handy. I think I have my little patron thing sitting around. Still, the little banner thing.
Nice.
But yes, well, we're not here. You've been here before. We're going to talk about you in Train Journey. Hello.
Yeah.
If people are unfamiliar with Train Journey, how would you describe it?
I would call it. I want to avoid using verbs, as you said early in the show.
So let's see.
It's.
Yeah.
It's a story about time, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of exploring the time we have, I think, and I haven't had to describe it in this way.
I know, no. You don't make, and it's a. I also have sometimes difficulties doing it because it's a new skill to learn,
Yeah.
Because we're so used to it's almost like, kind of like when you're learning a new language, almost like all the you understand the grammar, you just don't know what the words are.
For sure.
But otherwise, how would you describe it? I'm allowing you to say what you do now.
All right. It's kind of like a linear story platformer.
Yeah.
It's got some difficult fighting, I'd say. I feel like my strong point was the bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is something that I'm like. Occasionally, no, I say this as a compliment to all contributors, but sometimes one will come across and I'm like, how is this not like ultra known by people? Because it feels like occasionally someone will just drop a classic on my door. I'm like, oh, that's neat. Where did this come from, and why is it not like, more widely seen around, and I think it speaks to kind of how big games is, and as a scene, and how much harder I think it is to, or more like how you need just like money or whatever to get people to pay attention to your stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Or like how much you needed to, or just needed to be like, have spent years being like becoming a personality that has 10,000 followers, so that when you post your art, 50 of them will look at it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
Now something I'm curious about it, because I've had people mention it before, talked about before, but it's also on Newgrounds. How do you find the Newgrounds culture for games?
I don't remember. I think there was another game developer / artist who kind of moved over there, and I decided, oh, hey, I can post my game here because it supports HTML embeds and so on. So I just posted it there, and it did pretty well, I guess. Right.
It's just like because it's like definitely a different vibe,
Yeah.
Got front paged.
Yeah. I got lucky there. One of the moderators happened to see it, I guess, or something like that.
Which is like, a whole other... Oh, what's this little guy? Oh, okay, I know what that is. Okay, like I'm like, why does that look very familiar? And I know why that looks very familiar. But it is like, a different... We were talking about different platforms earlier. And that is one of them. Though it is, you can only do like web only, and it is still more generally, I'd say, like gameplay centric or animation centric. Definitely animation centric, but like even if you are, I think even if you are bringing games, you got to have like a strong visual vibe from the get go,
Yeah.
Such that
I definitely see that. Some of the games I see there.
I imagine because that's just like part of what people are looking for there is like, animation. But it's a thing occasionally I think I should dig through like Newgrounds to find stuff. But that aside, you also the other thing I was is like you work within Pico 8 a lot.
Yeah.
And what had drawn you to Pico 8?
I think I started using it like 4 years ago, probably 4 or more. And I just kind of really liked the concept of it. It's like a retro style game environment. And because of how like all the limitations, I just kind of used it as my introduction to making games. Just kind of some of the first complete games that I made were in that, and it got me to learn some, I guess, principles and ideas and coding and all that.
Right. It's like it's a handy thing about like a retro engine that also has very modern publishing capabilities.
Yeah.
And it's handy that you can do like GB Studio stuff will like publish to like browser, but a lot of the other like homebrew stuff, doesn't publish to browser. So, but you can have, Pico 8 will publish to like damn near anything. It feels like. Yeah. Even to like little. I imagine there's people who have like little. There's got to be like little Pico handhelds. Most like Android Raspberry Pi stuff that's handheld will like run Pico stuff.
Yeah. I think I've seen one or two at least.
It's just, but also it's kind of like the niceness of not everything being like this endlessly like commercial thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there is like the ultra commercial version of Pico 8, where they've got like buy a Pico Boy and play all our Pico games.
Yeah.
They can only be played through the Pico Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it like I think the developer even recently made a free version with practically all the features, so you could even just develop it without having to.
Right. Because that's the. It also has the benefit of like because just the general like it's good at having like a community. That's me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hello?
That was me. I disconnected for a second.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm back now. I'm going to close some of these windows. I think I got too aggressive with opening tabs and then not closing them after the fact.
Oops.
Yeah, we're back. But no, what I was saying is that like that Pico is like an ecosystem. Like immediately puts your game in front of a lot of other people too, and puts other people's games in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. And like even just built into if you buy the Pico 8 engine, just built in, you can build there's like explore option, and you can just explore all of everything from that have been published onto the Pico 8 website.
Yeah, which is, once again, handy, like, different ecosystems, because you could just, like, and, like, ignoring that people can just kind of do everything they want in Pico 8,
Mm-hmm.
They can just, it's just another engine, so it's like, oh, you can make arcadey games, you can also make art, you can make I think, was Demos Hotel made in Pico 8? No, what was that made in? Or was it made in Pico 8? I don't remember.
What was the name of the game?
Demos Hotel, the most recently commissioned Indiepocalypse game.
I think I looked at it, and it kind of resembled one.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that was also a Pico 8 game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I've noticed a few other Pico 8 games in the Indiepocalypse.
Yes, I am.
So
I'm a fan of people working in, like, alternative engine. Yes, I just booted it up, and it is Pico 8.
Right. Yeah.
You play enough Pico 8, you just kind of forget that. Like, you forget. Did that game have the Pico 8 boot screen or not?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like just these things just kind of become more engines, and people will always, like, bend the ends around to it and make whatever they want to make within it.
Yeah.
And that is a very, and also you can, like, fit a lot in them,
Yeah, for sure. And there's, like, also with the feature that lets you, like, string them together, which is something that I use. It lets you make your game even bigger, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah, that is a kind of like, I have a lot of FMV, so I need to have my multi-CD game, I need to...
Yeah.
I need to have, like, a big world. Because it is, like, Train Journey takes place within, like, a, relatively, like, there you have the central hub of it. But otherwise, in a relatively, like, large space, for especially what you think of in terms of, like, Pico 8.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I use, like, a full 16 carts, which is, like, the game, the size of a kind of a single game.
Right.
In order to make it.
But it gets you something that is, like, akin to a sort of, like, it reminds, like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Like, is in this episode I'm thinking more and more about how we phrase games, but, like, is there, what's the high-minded genre term word for, what, an early progenitor of it would be, like, Cave Story, the kind of story action platformer, to use the simplest game terms.
Yeah.
But there's more to them, because they're, like Train Journey, it's about exploring a space, and uncovering a space, or spaces over time.
Yeah.
But it's, we don't have the quick go-to word. We don't have the quick game genre that, outside of referencing the tent poles in them, which is kind of obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, you bring up Cave Story, and it was actually a major inspiration for this one, I would say. Right.
I mean, and I think those kind of things, like, inspirations, I think, show when things like, oh, no, this is, like, it does not feel like it is copying Cave Story. It feels like it is inspired by it. I think games sometimes don't escape out of copying something a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, no, you're ripping so many elements from this. Like, mechanical elements, often.
Yeah.
Whereas inspiration feels often more like it's inspired by the feel of something.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Which I think is also a harder thing to do. to make something that is capturing the feel of something without just like making that thing again, but your version of it. Which, you know, I think like I said, you did quite effectively.
Thank you.
Because there is like a huge, you know, there's basically this giant world of games that exists, and you know, where do you go with them? You know, if you don't like, I can venture a guess that no matter where you are, that you probably have plenty of like arts and crafts fairs and like flea market and stuff that you could attend. But you know, what's your closest video game convention? You know, even small scale one.
Gosh, there's like a retro game fest.
Right.
I think is the closest one I think of.
And yeah, and like I think, I mean, you're, I think, well positioned to. I mean, I suppose the both of you are well positioned for sneaking into like retro game fest. You know.
Yeah.
But I never know what the vibe is of people who are going, having just attended one, of people who like exclusively want retro games and don't want like new stuff that works in like older styles or.
Right.
It's sometimes.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes I wonder, it's like being into retro games almost feels like a different thing than being into games.
Yeah.
Admittedly, as someone who is into them and was just eyeing copies of games that were way too expensive that I wanted at local shops, I was like, listen, I like Echo Knight, but $150 is a lot of money to spend on something.
Yeah, I'm into that a little bit as well, but I've not been quite as active in that hobby lately.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby. It was a cheaper hobby when I was into it 15 years ago. I could get a lot of stuff for basically retail or cheaper.
Wow.
And now it's all very expensive, but also you can just emulate it all, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the pleasure of having a nice physical version of it. But but that is less important, really. Like the playing of it is the important thing, which I feel like more people are doing. As it just becomes like easier to just like load up an emulator.
Mm-hmm.
Or just get one of those AliExpress like bootleg things that has 8 million games on it.
Yeah.
Now the question is when does or somebody already like when do they start like scraping like indie games and like kind of like old shareware discs used to be. Where it's like, oh no, these are all shareware, these are all free, you know, Creative Commons fully available games. I'm just gonna put them on a disc and sell that, or disc, so to speak, a collection.
Right.
Because it is like a weird. Sorry.
Yeah, I've not heard of anything like that before. No.
But it is also something that's like kind of lost in a way of like getting. I guess the closest. I guess we have like bundles. That's kind of that version of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Is like buying 8 million different little bundles, but I think that they go to in like a little digital space. It kind of changes that vibe of that.
Yeah, I agree. I've been kind of like browsing through the Internet Archive lately and looking at old CD-ROMs for some projects I want to work on. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, I'd stumble across a bunch of freeware, shareware discs and things like that. I don't know. It's just interesting to see how things have changed like that.
Right. Or just to I assume are you browsing through games on the Internet Archive?
Or
just other things?
More kind of looking for old clip art and GIF assets.
Yes. Which is a whole other
yeah.
There was a time when you if you wanted more images, you had to buy a disc for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted in your Office GIFs, you would buy 500 Office GIFs on one disc.
Yeah.
I
found a physical one recently, just from the thrift stores. Kind of interesting to see.
Yes, and I found a booklet in cleaning of a pocket guide to the internet. It's just a book full of websites to visit. And I want to dig through them and go, how much of these are still online? And
yeah,
because it is a different way of engaging with the internet, but it's not that version of engaging with the internet hasn't not gone away. You can still do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the aggregating of everything has kind of made things just worse in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because you are less inclined to just kind of browse around.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to have everything just sort of fed to you slowly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's why I really enjoy what's it called? Bandcamp is probably one of the best monetizing commercial platforms for discovery, it feels like.
Right.
Just either between you might also likes or showing, oh hey look, here's all the other people who bought this album. Or even little they're scrolled on the front page of stuff that's actively being purchased.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I haven't spent a lot of time on Bandcamp really. I have a profile on there, but I've not really bought a lot of things from there. I'll have to check it out some more.
It is a fun thing because sometimes it'd be appears in 6 other collections where it's sometimes that feels like a badge of honor. Oh cool, I got a thing only 6 other people bought.
Yeah.
I think maybe just because I do looking for weird stuff, so it encourages that behavior within me.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to in the way that I scroll through people's people who comment on games and see oh, what are they working on? Because like I said, usually they're developers working on something. But speaking of going through stuff, and speaking of Bandcamp and all these sorts of things, maybe what's your favorite type of rock?
I'll have to say some kind of fossil, probably.
Okay.
I don't have a particular fossil in mind.
No,
maybe,
you don't.
Maybe a trilobite, I guess.
You do not need a particular fossil. I'm not judging anyone, at least publicly.
Yeah.
And secondary, do you have a favorite Toho character?
I tried to research it a little bit before my section,
Yes.
but I couldn't find any. I know of Toho, but I don't really interact with it that much, unfortunately.
No, there's always time to for it to be the first time that you interact with something, you know.
Yes, of course.
That's don't let it's too easy to get like the vibes of being like, oh, I got to get on everything right now, or I have to have already known about everything. It's like, no, you can just figure you can always the best time to get into something is the time you get into it.
Yeah.
And that said, we are going on our final break before the group segment. And thank you for joining me here today. And I'm looking there, found it. Okay, thank you for joining me here today. I lost Fubar in the mess. I've got too many things that are pictures of little guys on the taskbar. But we'll be back in about 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Goodbye for now.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was, of course, Jeff Rosenstock's festival song. We're back with the whole crew. The whole crew is here. Hello, crew. How you doing again?
Hello.
Hey.
So I have a question that I've been thinking about. I want to bring it back, but I think I don't want to bring it back for the individual segment, because I think it's harder to push on an individual to have an answer for in the very moment. But to bring back an earlier, from I think maybe like the first, second episode kind of days, but rephrased I think in a better way, which is, and of course you don't have to have an answer for this, but the question being, what's your favorite piece of art that you also find the hardest to recommend to people? Either because it's just, just like it is. Maybe through guilty pleasure, maybe because this is just difficult to get into. This is a not for everybody kind of thing. But you're like, also, I love it endlessly.
I have an answer.
Yes.
It's really hard to recommend because it's a game on Wii, and then a lot of people don't have access to Wii right now, or PSP, and it's like, and the game is absolutely not fun to play on an emulator. It's Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Okay.
By Sam Barlow.
Yeah.
It's really good, and it's kind of like a Sam Barlow's take on Silent Hill 1, is what I've heard. And it's really beautiful. It has a lot of cool interactions, and like through the Wii controller, and I feel like you can only feel the way the game is intended to be enjoyed only with the Wii controller, and it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to recommend to people, and every time I explain things to them, it sounds like a maniac, because it's like I think I feel like I'm preaching something that people wouldn't ever try to get or whatever. So, but it's really good. It's really cool. It's a really cool game.
Yeah, because like technically there are like, PS2 and PSP versions of it, but
yeah, but it's like it's different, and and then it's like recommending a director's cut to people, and then people be like, what a nerd, and it's really embarrassing because you're like trying to push forward something very specific.
Yeah, that is the burden of being the cool friend recommending things,
Yeah, that is.
Is like sometimes those recommendations don't hit, but you just say them enough times until people go, huh. Or you hit the right person and go, huh, maybe I will try that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like a slow. Speaking of overpriced stuff, I was at like a flea market, and like people, so they had like we've got all those Silent Hills 2, 3, 4, all like $200.
Yeah,
and it's like it's the weird thing about collecting is more.
It is.
It's like, is it buying to collect something or buying to like to play it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes games can feel like, I mean, even that's like the buying 8 million games on Steam and then playing none of them.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the matter of fact that you have them is different than you don't have them. And I personally, I would buy a lot of games from Steam and not play them like ever.
Right.
But the matter of fact that I know I can play them is very important.
Yeah, and like the playing of them is like the most important part of it is like, oh yeah, I guess I have a bunch of, I think often the idea of, if the, if something is archived in the Internet Archive or whatever, is anything really archived? If no one's talking about something, is it actually really archived?
Yeah.
Like the engagement with art is a crucial part of the actual like archiving of it.
Yes.
Because otherwise you just have like a thing that just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
But that is, a difficulty in a lot of things where, especially if you're like mostly online, and especially if you spend most of your time on like big online spaces, like your Blue Sky X style things, where it's just kind of like everybody in a big giant bucket.
Yeah.
That bucket tends to be kind of trends towards very common denominator sort of stuff. It's easier to find. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't spend enough time on these things to be like, oh, what are people talking about? What came out? So I'll just try to find. Here we go. Someone's, Begonia. That movie just came out. It's like, oh yeah, people are talking at that, or people are talking, and then it kind of trends towards finding things that people are talking about rather than like you could just kind of watch anything really.
Yeah.
But is but also I have the luxury in doing the show in that most people are extremely offline, and it's like a nice little, a nice little thing of like, oh, I should probably do the classic test. A lot of times I will, I'm like, oh, let me check out a radio show's guest, and their most recent post was like, they have something all the time, just like one post of like they made, and then the next most recent thing was, I was in the issue, and sometimes the issue was like 2 months ago. But it is like a different, in getting offline a bit more, you do like interact with like, you get that better one-on-one interaction, But that is a whole. Yeah. But there are like pockets of these different kind of like explorations, because I saw interactive noise is a thing that I follow, or I've followed the newsletter for so long as it's existed, and it's a handy resource for people who are making like interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But also it's one of those things that also feels just as small as the people that it's following, covering, Which is the difficulties of independent art. But that said, we were the end segment, of course, has of classically indeterminate in length, and as things feel like they are sort of winding down, does anyone have any non-promotional statements that they need to say, or questions they need to get out before we start to get into the promotional portion of the show?
For making the show.
Perfect.
I guess
Sorry, what was that? Yeah.
I'll mention my answer to the question you had earlier.
Yes.
What piece of art?
Yes.
My easy answer would be The Outer Wilds for pretty obvious reasons, but I'll kind of skip that.
Right.
There's like this YouTube channel that I really, really like called Leo Swanhild, and she just kind of makes whatever she wants, I guess. But it's hard to recommend to people because it's kind of it's like very visually intense, I guess.
Right.
There's a lot of like flashing lights and really loud noise, and I don't know. It's not. I could see why people wouldn't see it as pleasant, but it's just something that's hard to recommend to people sometimes. But I think it's really refreshing because it's just kind of it's not necessarily like making something for the YouTube algorithm, and it's more so just creating whatever.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the name exactly again? I think I didn't get it perfectly.
I'll put it in the chat, in the Discord chat here.
Yes,
but it's Leo Swanhild.
Because that is one of the things that also, bringing back this question, is my secret way of getting stuff.
Yeah. I would. It's obviously not for everyone, but it's something that I really enjoy from time.
Yes, no, I am someone who enjoys things that are not for everyone. I try to be the most not for everyone in the friend group,
Yeah.
Mostly because, I like, there's, once you get off like the beaten path, the world of independent art, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's so many people doing just like their own thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like we take for granted the fact that what gets things in front of our attention the most is the fact that they spent advertising dollars on it, not necessarily that it's good inherently.
Yeah.
Like plenty of stuff that gets popular is also good, but also there's plenty of other stuff that is just as good, so to speak, as if there were like this kind of scale that we can rate everything on. Is determined by whether or not it got popular. Like that was the determining factor. When I feel like most of the time it's knowing the right people or having a bunch of advertising money or something.
Yeah, definitely. Very daunting as well.
Right. And it's hard, like, if you're trying to break in, because I think you are just fed the idea of the meritocracy,
Mm-hmm.
Of like, oh, if you just make good stuff, it'll rise up. And it's like, well, most of the good stuff that rises up has some benefit in there somewhere,
Yeah.
Some boost that you're not seeing that is or isn't as obvious. But you can also fulfill the dream of being underappreciated in your time, like so many great artists were.
Yeah.
Go, it's not relieving to tell someone, don't worry about it. Your work is ahead of its time. You'll be appreciated in 30 years. Well, I want food now.
Yeah.
I don't want a claim in 30 years. But that's why you're out there and you support your local independent artists, Be like, if you take any lesson away from anything, it's like, hey, be the friend who recommends stuff that people you think other people don't know about.
Yeah, I try to do that.
Yes, you're doing you do not see a salute through the audio, but salute to the people who are like, who have the to be the weird friend who's like, I've got good stuff you got to try. Because sometimes people are like, yeah, that is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally wore down someone into watching Jean Dielman, he's like, actually, it was good. Yeah, got him. Got his ass. Charlie, do you have anything, anything that you think falls within that category? Or perfectly fine if not. Uh-oh. Might be having microphone problems. I don't know. Well, in that case, we will begin to... Yes, Mike broke. REP to Mike. We will begin to wrap up the show. You can just continue to keep trying your mic, and if you just... Even if I'm talking, same rules apply. Just bump right in as you're trying to figure this out. So I'm going to go around the circle of the stream, and Hanwan, if people are looking for your work, where can they find it?
It's in my itch, and you can find it on my Blue Sky.
Perfect. And if you search the name, Hanwan Zumame, you will find it.
Yes. We also have a video game collective called Games for My Computer.
Yes.
It's me, Nicole Shin, and also other collaborators. We have 6 people.
At the very least, on the credits page for Growth Spurt, 3/5 of them are contributors, and I'm eyeballing I did the same when I was talking to Nicole. I was like, I'm eyeballing your other 2. Yeah, if you've not tried out, Amaze recommend or Amaze selected. What category were you got? They have so many weird.
It's Digital Moment, I think.
Yeah, there's so many weird categories.
Yeah, they have a lot of weird categories.
But check out Growth Spurt as well.
Thank you.
And then click on the credits page and be like, what are all these people here? So go to Hanwan's page first, check out those games, and then go, Growth Spurts. And then you kind of follow that little trail.
Yeah, you can find a lot of cool people.
Yeah, just keep clicking through and just keep clicking through different paths and different little journeys and find all these people. Speaking of someone whose page also opens up into a wealth of other developers' works as well, including their own. Hey, maybe where can people find your stuff if they're looking for it?
Most of my links can be found on my Blue Sky, but I'm on itch. And Newgrounds is primarily where I'll be posting my games and things.
Perfect. Yes, and just take the time in to just Indiepocalypse is not meant to be where you stop. It's meant to be where you start in terms of finding developers. So this is always meant to be like, oh, I like this game. What else does this person do? And then going, oh, this person makes a lot of cool stuff. Also, this person knows people who do make cool stuff. And then suddenly you go, what are AAA video games? I don't even remember. I'm free. My brain is free. I'm not even necessarily because I dip my toes in bigger budget releases here and there, of course. But having a balanced palette is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. Oh, we're typing. We're gonna find out.
I feel like I might be audible again.
You're back. You're back just in time. Welcome
Excellent.
back.
Yeah, I had an answer for your question, and I was chattering away to myself, and then realized that I was talking to no one, then have had to switch.
I want to hear it. What have you got?
Okay, I will do them very quickly. I actually had 2, if that's okay. If I have time to give you 2.
Charlie, we have infinite time. You're in no rush. Don't worry about it.
Excellent. So my first one is actually a a YouTube animation series called Big Top Burgers.
Okay, yes, you're putting it back in my brain.
I think it's incredible. I think it is beautifully animated. I think it's clearly made by someone who made it just because they were having the best time and really enjoyed making it. Every time I've recommended it to someone, I feel like my pitch gets weaker and weaker as I'm like explaining the plot, and I'm like, I just need you to watch it. Like, just trust me and watch it, and watch like 2 episodes, and you'll be hooked.
Yes, I think my intro to thinking about that was because I know. Yes, both of those fellows are those. Oh, what the fuck they have? This voice stack is his voice cast is unbelievably stacked.
Yeah, it's especially to say that it's like it is an independent animation, and I think Alex Hirsch is involved in it.
Right, like I mean, it did get somewhat bigger, but that's like big in independent animation is like, you know, only so big, and you know the scale of what 1 million views on YouTube means has also changed drastically, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing it around when it was coming out, because I'm like, oh, I know, because I know I was familiar with those 2 New Zealand folks, Tim Batt and Guy Montgomery, and then I'm like seeing like Ida Beery's in it. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
But anyhow, yes, in the second one.
The second one is a video game, but I know it because the person that's made the video game is an artist that I've followed for quite a while. It's not actually out yet, so I feel like I'm giving them a little plug.
No, that's...
but it's a video game called Habromania, so only the demo's out on Steam at the moment, but I think it's being released this month, next month.
Okay.
It's in the works. It's coming out real soon.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been made by this 21-year-old girl. She is an illustrator. She made concept arts for this video game for like a couple of years, and she always pitched it as like, oh, I'm just making this concept art for this hypothetical game. It doesn't exist. It's just for fun. It's just for me. And a few years in, her following got a bit larger, and she kind of realized that she had the means to actually make it into a real thing. So now seeing this concept come to life and have a page on Steam with a trailer and like this like fully fleshed concept art rather than just sketches is really, really exciting to me. And even though it's not something that I've actually played, even just seeing it be this real thing is really, really beautiful and exciting to me.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting more into the realm where you can have like in kind of like similar other arts of like projects that come together and then break apart, you know. It doesn't have to be like studios.
Yeah.
So you can have an artist who's like, oh, I'm an artist who like I have this, you know, I lacked the skills to do like the programming or the game portion of it maybe. But or who knows, just like other skills, like there's a billion things go into making games. Or people are like, oh, I'm a designer, but I want to work with this artist. People just coming together and then breaking apart, just like coming together for singular projects, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's something that gets like there's a benefit more to not everything being a company, you know.
Yeah, so she's done like the all of the concept art. I think she's done all the animations for it, and then she's reached out and got a load of people to help out and get involved with like the developing of the game. I think she's like creative director, I guess. Right.
Whatever these kind of like loose games are bad at having titles and credits that are like cohesive, that just to like get into and recognize. But hopefully, like, as you know, roles are always kind of squishy in art sometimes, you know. But games are, especially because they're less uniform in how they're done. There's, you know, different engines all work differently, as opposed to, you know, like generally cameras are cameras. I mean, different cameras have different flavors to them, of course, but there's less of a divide. I think maybe I'm wrong. Also, hey, that's the benefit of being alive, is you can be wrong about shit all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But well, enough plugging other people's work. You got your own work. And
I do.
Where can people find that stuff?
You can find me on Instagram at Charlie Jade Illustrations, or you can have a peek at my website, which is charliejadeartistry.com. They're probably the only two main spaces that you can interact with my work on, but you can always reach out to me on those if you wanted my work to exist elsewhere.
Yes.
If you don't want to just see it on a screen.
Right. I recommend, like, that is what I did when I took that sticker that was given to me, and I was like, what is this sticker? And then I did the work of looking it up. And having your own website, very handy. Because really, honestly, you don't need more than just like a website and a way to contact you in a lot of cases.
Yeah. It's really nice to have something that's like, oh look, this is proof that I exist.
Yes.
That you can take away with you.
Right, that doesn't exist in like an algorithmic world as well. Like, it's just like, oh, if someone needs to find your thing, they just find your thing. It's like, it is your space. It's never like, when you're posting your work to your portfolio, you don't have to ever worry that, like, am I posting at the right time? Because it's not a scroll. It's just there.
Yeah.
That's my small thing of, hey, folks, get your own damn website. They're good.
Yeah, it's nice that you can be selfish on your own website. Like,
yes.
you get to dictate the content.
You're the only one there.
Yeah.
Aside from having, like, a nice page of links to other people, which I also recommend you can have. It's a good thing to have. With that all said, hey, if you're looking to get Indiepocalypse, Indiepocalypse.com is a great place to get it, or pizzapranks.itch.io if you prefer that method. Issue 70 just came out. As part of the 70th issue, as I do every 10 issues, I'm doing a drive. This month is a Patreon drive. So subscribe to Patreon and then help support, which is, of course, indiepocalypse.com/Patreon. And I'm accepting pitches for people to write about the games featured in Indiepocalypse, because I'm asking the eternal question: in the alternative indie space, can you pay people to write about it? If you're handing them money to write about it, can you do that? If you're actively saying, I want you to write explicitly about this stuff, I'm going to give you money to do that. Can you succeed in writing about that in that situation? Who knows? But do that. And if you buy, issues like 69, for instance, eventually these nice people here will get money sent to their PayPal account. They're still brand new, so they're not used to the 6 to 9 month cycle of getting $5 to $6 in PayPal, but it can happen. Or your payment vendor of choice. With that said, I think that's everything. I think I got it all. Hanuman, maybe Charlie, thank you all for joining me here today. Great to have you on the show. Great to hang out.
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'm gonna shut it all down now. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a nice day.